Hello and welcome back to TNWKS, the Now We Know show, the show where we discuss a topic of interest, and by the end we will have learned something new, and hopefully you will too. I'm Zak.
And I'm Buzz. And yes, we're back for another prepping episode.
Woohoo!
We do like prepping. And in this episode, it's something that we've been wanting to do for some time.
This has been on the cards for so long.
And we finally got the opportunity to come around and do this. And I'm so pleased to announce that this episode is all about EDCs.
If you enjoy the Now We Know Show podcast, support Zak Wylde Productions on Patreon or join our members on YouTube for early access, ad-free content and exclusive episodes. So before we get into EDCs and what they're all about, it's time for
Weird and Wonderful! And it's me again.
You again? You found a weird and wonderful story.
Yeah, it just jumped out the news at me.
Okie pokey.
I saw a photograph and I thought, what on earth's that? And I looked into it and I've got to tell you this one. I don't know if you spotted it.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Well, let's see. I'll give you the heading, okay? Coast Guard arrests a man trying to run a giant hamster wheel across the Atlantic.
Oh my God, yes, that was on the news.
Yeah, did you see
that's
that?
hilarious. Yes, that is the pic.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was brilliant. A chap called Reza Baluchi was basically trying to get this giant hamster wheel to go across the Atlantic. According to a criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court in South Florida, the Coast Guard cutter Valiant came across Baluchi and his homemade vessel about 70 nautical miles east of Tybee Island. Okay.
Right.
So the Coast Guard was preparing for Hurricane Franklin. Okay. He told officers his destination was London, England, more than 4,000 miles away. While he's
So hang on.
this giant
So he didn't
hamster
actually
wheel.
get very far then, did he?
This is great because it says Baluchi was asked for the vehicle's registration. He said it was registered in Florida, but that he couldn't find the registration according to the complaint. Oh, bless. The Coast Guard arrested Baluchi's vessel known as a hydropod.
A hydropod.
Hydropod.
Don't they do like little tiny one-man submarines that go across the ocean? I think that's probably what that's referenced to.
Well, they have been in the news that they've been drug running.
Yeah, it's smugglers, isn't it?
Across the Atlantic in some very, very dodgy,
Ropey, dodgy, leaky
literally
subs.
handmade submarines made out of like fiberglass.
For one person.
For 1 to 2 people with like a bin bag in it for
Drugs.
Well, no, I'm talking about a bin bag in it for pooping while
Oh,
you're going.
oh
across.
God. We're already into that stage of the podcast.
Yeah, anyway, so this the Coast Guard basically confiscated his vessel as he was conducting a manifestly unsafe voyage.
Yeah, what I was going to say, is it still in one piece?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
The officers then approached Baluchi in a small boat and instructed him to join them. They were ending his voyage due to it being unsafe. Baluchi replied that he had a 12-inch knife and would attempt to kill himself if the officers attempted to remove him from his hamster wheel, according to the complaint. The officers returned to the cutter and stayed nearby.
It's hard to take this story seriously. I can't believe this actually happened.
When the officers tried again over the next day or so.
Yeah, there was a standoff, wasn't it? That was on the news.
That's it, a standoff. Oh, bless him. When the officers tried again over the next day or so to get Baluchi to join them on the small boat, Baluchi displayed 2 knives and threatened to hurt himself if officers boarded his hamster wheel vessel. Baluchi also threatened to blow himself up along with the vessel. This is silly. The officers saw him holding wires in his hand and believed him, the complaint says. This is crazy.
Isn't that a board game, Exploding Hamsters? No, that's kittens. That's
Yeah.
kittens.
On August the 29th, the Campbell once more sent a small boat and this time was able to safely remove Baluchi from his floating hamster wheel.
It's every time you say hamster wheel, I just laugh.
Baluchi was brought ashore in Miami Beach on the Friday, where he was released on a $250,000 bond. There you go.
Ouch.
So I suppose the lesson to be learned is
Get a boat.
Get a boat and not a giant hamster wheel and start flailing knives about. I'm not coming with you, officer.
He won't take me alive.
No, my hamster wheel is freedom.
Freedom.
I'm off to London.
4,000 miles
away across the Atlantic.
Okie pokey.
Anyway, so that was the weird, wonderful story of this week. Job
Right.
done.
EDCs.
EDCs.
Maybe we should start off by explaining what exactly is an EDC.
Okay, well, for all our preppers out there, they're already screaming down the microphones that they know what exactly an EDC is. We know what an EDC is, but for those people who don't know what an EDC is, it is an everyday carry. That's the term EDC. Now, this could refer to a singular item. For example, a lot of people will say, oh, what is your EDC knife? For example, if you are carrying a knife, if obviously we're in the UK, so the only legal knife you can carry is a maximum 3-inch long folding non-lockable penknife would be your EDC knife. If you are living in an environment where you feel having a tool, a knife is a tool, is not a weapon, that you need that EDC knife. So you might be somebody like myself who spends a lot of time in the forest, in the woods, and I'm always, trimming things, cutting things. I've always got that. You might be a farmer. Yeah. You might be an electrician.
When it comes to knives, you've got to have a reasonable reason to have it.
Yeah. So anyway, because there's a lot in the news, don't want to diversify, but in the UK at the moment, big thing about zombie knives. Yeah, they're crap anyway. They're just pieces of laser cut tat. But they're also trying to ban the machetes, which is kind of a bit of a pain because as somebody, again, who works in the forest, I use a Glock or a machete quite often. It's a very useful tool.
It is.
Which I use in the forest, for wood preparation and for just hacking back bushes.
But unfortunately, most people don't see it that way.
No.
Because they are not.
No, but if I've got my petrol, if I've got my petrol strimmer, my chainsaws, my oil, my petrol, my other hand tools and hatchets and axes and stuff, and a machete in the back of my car, and I'm going to the forest because I'm doing some clearance work and I got stopped by the police, I'm sure the police officers would understand that I am going specifically for doing that job because I live in the countryside anyway.
But if you're in a city,
if I was driving around the middle of London with a boot full of machetes, then
that's a bit dodgy.
Yeah. So it's all retrospective, okay? But anyway, so what we're talking about when it comes to EDCs is a small bag or something that you would carry with you, which would hopefully see you through any kind of situation that you might come across in everyday life. So we can discuss a few of those things.
Is this equatable to the same terminology as a BOB, which stands for bug out bag?
Well, people would use the word BOB, or people will use the term grab bag. It's not really.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that one.
A grab bag. Well, you see, something like a BOB or a grab bag is a bigger thing. So if you think size of, say, a full-size backpack, that you've got already prepared. Again, it depends on where you live. You might live in a place in the world which is prone to earthquakes, flooding, things like this, and you might be in a situation where you're used to having those kind of natural disasters happening around you, or they've happened before, or there's a high potential of them happening, and so you'd have a big bag, which we'll discuss in another podcast, that's got a lot more stuff in it that you're going to grab and go.
So they're different to EDCs?
Yeah. A big bug out bag is something that you would probably have maybe bedding in there, spare clothes, shelter, food.
So it could be more cover a wider spectrum of things.
It would allow you to, if you had to, okay, let's just randomly say, if you had to run to the hills because of a disaster, get to high ground, wait for rescue or whatever, then you can be comfortable knowing that you've got food, water. If it's pouring with rain, you've got shelter. If it's baking hot sunshine, you've got shelter. If it's cold at night, you've got bedding, blah, blah, blah. You've got all that stuff. But that would take a big bag.
Right.
That's something, for example, in a disaster, like, if we throw your mind back to that one we were uncovering about the go in, stay in, tune in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then in that instance, it's also saying, make sure you've got your insurance documents, anything regarding your home that's important, banking documents and things like that. in a sealed watertight bag that you could also grab and chuck in your grab bag and go. So in case, say, there was a wildfire or something, you don't want your house going up and all your essentially illegal documents, your legal documents of your house insurance and everything else going up in smoke. So you need to grab those and chuck them in there and that. So you're talking about a big emergency bag.
Right.
Boom.
So how does the EDC delineate from that?
Well, as I just say, a bug out bag or a grab bag is ideally there for that emergency where you've got to grab and run. The difference is an EDC is everyday carry. So this is something you might have with you every day where you're not expecting a major disaster to happen, but you want to have certain things with you that may help you during the day. Now, okay. So we need to explain that a bit better. So an EDC might be something you carry with yourself. I mean, a lot of ladies carry handbags, for example. Yeah,
so could that be equatable to what an EDC is?
I would say so, in the sense that if a lady, say they're going to work and where their work dictates that maybe they want to make sure that they've got their hair is nice, they've got their makeup on, everything is, and they need certain things with them that if, for example, they're going to work and it's blowing a gale and they get in and their hair's all over the place, they want to make sure that they've got, a hairbrush, and they want to make sure that they can go into the powder room and sort themselves out and they're all sorted, yeah? Mm-hmm. So that's where they would carry bits with them that they would require.
Right, so is this a more personal thing?
Yeah, a personal thing. So an EDC there is no such thing as the perfect EDC that's going to suit everybody, because you're going to have an EDC that's specifically designed for your needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also, as well as having an EDC which you might carry on your person with you,
yeah,
you might also have an EDC which you keep in your car if you're a car driver, for example.
Okay.
So if you've got a vehicle, you probably have an EDC, or should have, my advice would be you should have an EDC sitting in your car in case of breakdown, which could happen any time of the year.
Anywhere.
So the thing is, with the car, obviously, it's a vehicle, it can carry more stuff. So, you might want to have things in there like blankets, etc. So if your car broke down in the wintertime, you've got blankets to keep you warm, but you're not necessarily going to take them out during the summertime because there's no effort for the car to carry them around.
I think a lot of this is very situational. Is the idea that having whatever it is you have prepares you for a situation should it arise?
Well, let's put it into a very everyday kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
We live out in the countryside, but we live near to a mainline station. And that mainline station, we can get on a train and go directly into King's Cross in London.
Yeah.
So let's just say somebody is commuting from where we live and they're commuting into London and working in London and coming home every day. And that's a simple, straightforward thing. Every day that's happening. They're going into London, they're coming home. Now, off they go. They've decided what they're going to do. They've eaten their breakfast. They've got on the train. They've got to the station in London, so King's Cross. They've gone to Costa Coffee and grabbed themselves a coffee, had a coffee, got to work. Fine. Where they work, they've got a canteen, or maybe they just need to nip out and have some lunch. Fine. They do that. In the afternoon, they've gone to the coffee machine, had a coffee or a cup of tea.
You like coffee, don't you?
Yeah, whatever. And then they start heading back. Fine. They get back. Train sets out. Suddenly, train stops. No, there's been
I've had that before.
Yeah, there's been a failure. The lines have come down. Power lines are down on the track.
It's usually when somebody tries to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, people do that, or they just walk onto the line, or they do something stupid, or you can get sometimes animals on the line. Or, as I say, we've had situations where people have actually taken 2 miles worth of electrical cables and nicked them, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
So the trains are stopped and they can't run. So you're stuck there.
What do you do?
And all you've got is yourself. Now, you might go, okay, don't worry. I've got my phone. And my phone, I can pay for things on my phone, All right, so okay, I've got kind of some virtual money with me because that's that.
If it's working.
And you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and eventually they say, no, train's not going anywhere. We're going to have to get you to the nearest station, maybe pull the train forward or backwards or whatever they do, and get out. And then you're going to have to transfer, wait for a coach or something to come. Oh no, you're on the station. Now, at this time, it's the evening time. Things are shut down.
All you want to do is get home.
The little shop that's on the station, if the station has a shop, is shut.
It's going to be shut.
And so you can't. There's a machine there with some snacks in, but you've got no loose change.
Yeah.
And it ain't going to take your phone won't accept to pay with your phone because it wants loose change. You know, you're kind of stuck. So oh man.
Because that is the case. Most people are just going to have, say, bare necessities: a wallet, a phone.
That's it. So
that's it.
Well, okay, let's put that into it. So you've been using your phone all day, and you suddenly realise you haven't charged it up.
Oh no, I haven't got a charger.
4% on your phone. You need to ring home to say that.
You might have a charger to plug into a wall, but that requires finding a plug socket. So you're going to need a mobile charger. Exactly. Where would you put that?
Well, you might decide that
you would put that in the EDC.
Yeah, but you might decide that you've charged your phone at home, you've gone to work in London, you've got a charger in your desk in London.
Yeah.
I'll charge my phone. Forgotten to charge it up that day.
Yeah.
Heading back, and you suddenly realise not only is the train broken down, your phone's virtually out of charge.
Yeah.
You've got no money to get yourself any refreshments. You're feeling parched. You've got nothing to drink. You're starting to feel hungry because it's been now 2.5 hours since the trains have stopped, and you've still got nothing to eat.
This is the thing. You know? Ideally, everything would go to plan.
Yeah.
But an EDC.
But you're getting stressed out now.
Is in case it doesn't.
But you're getting stressed out, and you're getting a real bad headache starting to come on.
Yeah, that's not going to do you any good.
And you're thinking, oh, this is ridiculous, So all these small things, you want to have something in your EDC which is going to make your life comfortable and get you out of a situation like that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to last you for any
not at all.
Prolonged period of time. That's what other things are for.
It just means that if you are stuck in a situation, hopefully you've prepped your EDC in such a way that it's going to be suited specifically for your needs to help you out.
Right.
Now, it's funny really, because what really prompted us to do this one is because we went to the cinema, didn't we?
Yes. Yes.
Just a couple of days ago to see, of all things, Meg 2.
The Trench,
and it was hilariously good popcorn action.
Oh my
fun.
God, it was amazing.
You don't take a movie like that seriously.
No, it's just fun.
It's just a fun movie. But the fun thing that we both laughed out loud in the cinema was one of the characters there. He suddenly pulled out this bag. It was quite kind of like a...
I think his name's DJ.
Right. And he's got this little backpack, which wasn't a tactical backpack.
Because he was in the first one.
Yep.
And then he came back for the sequel.
And he's got this bag because they suddenly I don't want to give any spoilers away about the movie, but they suddenly find themselves in a situation, and don't worry, I've got my survival bag with me, and he's got this kind of like little backpack.
It's like leopard print.
Leopard print or something like that. It's quite hilarious. And he's got all this stuff in it, Yeah. He said, I learnt from last time, I'm not going to be caught out this time.
Oh, DJ, please come back. We need you. You think I'm going to go do that? I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to learn how to fight.
I'm going to have my survival bag.
Yeah, that's it.
So it was like, because he got his survival bag or his EDC, we were like, yay, go DJ.
It was funny.
It was funny.
It was so funny.
It was funny. And then we decided, definitely, we need to do the EDC. So you've got a bag. It doesn't have to be a big bag. I mean, I'm talking about ladies or gentlemen these days. I mean, who knows who carries a handbag these days? A man bag. It doesn't have to be a big, it's not meant to be like a rucksack.
It could be a satchel.
Yeah. And for example, my EDC, I use as a small shoulder bag.
Yeah.
So the ones that they promote them as kind of a courier bag.
Yeah.
They just sling over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And it hangs either across your bag or across your back, should I say, or across your front. And you can also adjust the strap and turn the strap into two backpack straps.
Yeah, that is true.
So it carries a mini backpack.
Yeah.
But that's made by Hunt VP.
Hunt VP,
Hunt
yes.
VP. And it's a molly bag.
Mm.
Okay.
I think the best way to equate this particular brand is almost army.
Yeah,
almost army stuff.
There was a lot of stuff out there which is, they're called molly bags, which is obviously military style bags, which are a system that you all clip together. So you can add to them. Take them
again,
away.
very customizable.
Yeah, customizable. And so I like a Molly bag because you can add bits to it. I mean, you asked me earlier, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Molly.
What does it stand for?
Basically, it means modular, lightweight, load-carrying equipment. Okay?
There we are.
But Molly for short. And it has loads of straps and things. You can
Straps,
add pouches.
poppers.
Yeah, so
all over
my
the place.
little Hunt's VP courier bag, I've got 2 extra pouches on it. One on one side, which is for a water bottle, and the other side is just a small add-on Molly bag that I've got some bits and pieces in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, so you've got your everyday carry bag, so you've got to decide what's best for you in it.
Yeah, because you don't want to put too much in it. You don't want it to be an unmanageable bag.
Firstly, don't carry stuff you really aren't going to need. But so you need to kind of whittle it down and know what you need. So I threw this suggestion out to you, Zach, that you are working in London,
okay,
and you come back and your train's broken down, and you've got only money you've got is on your phone, and you suddenly find you can't spend any money on your phone.
Yeah.
You've got no drink, you've got no food, you're getting a headache and all these things. So let's reverse that up. And now let's say you are doing that trip and you've got an EDC. What sort of things would you put in there?
Personally, a big one would be a drink.
Okay, so
drink.
that would be a definite.
And this wouldn't be like a small bottle. This would be, I think, a moderately sized bottle.
Okay, just a drinking flask. That's what
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I've got to say, I normally carry minimum of one of the small plastic water bottles, that you can buy multi-packs of.
Well, I drink quite a lot.
Well, I drink a lot, but ideally, what I've been doing is drinking during the day. So that one bottle, I don't want to carry too much weight around with me. Yeah?
Precisely, that is the thing.
So find what best suits you when it comes to a bottle, and make sure it's something that is easily refillable. So if you get the opportunity to refill it, you can do.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a drink.
I've got a drink. Well, we've already mentioned it. Another thing, charger, like a mobile charger.
A mobile charger, that would be a very handy thing. So you're never going to get caught out.
Yeah.
And with a mobile charger, with those kind of battery packs, they themselves don't have to be very big at all.
No, they can be quite small.
We've got several, and they're all different sizes. But you can have quite a small one, which will give you 3 full charges of a phone.
Yeah, as I say, it doesn't need to be the saviour of all problems. No. It could just get you by for a small period of time.
But the other bonus with those is that a lot of them also have a built-in torch.
That is true.
Which is another handy little thing.
Well, you're saying that, I think maybe a torch would be a good idea.
Well, yeah, but if you can combine 2 things, then you're saving space. So if you've got a battery charger...
That'd be a good torch.
That's got a little torch. Again, when would you use that? Well, I know, for example...
Well, if you have power cuts.
Well, with power cuts.
We've talked about blackout boxes before.
Yeah, you might be caught in a blackout. But I've been to places before where I've gone to services and the lights aren't working.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like,
they ain't getting fixed anytime soon.
Fumbling around in the dark in some...
Yeah, you don't want to fondle somebody in the dark.
No, but
That's not a sink.
Fumbling around, yeah. That's sort of faucet, as they'd say in America. Yeah, I've got hold of the wrong tap there.
Oh, no.
So anyway, so to be able to have a light is quite good. So you can combine that, or you can have a separate one. I mean, obviously, if you've got a phone, most phones have a torch facility on there.
Yeah.
But again, in places in London, etc., you don't always want to have your phone out in your hand.
No.
Because you're always running the risk of somebody like doing the old grab and run with your phone.
Just speaking generally, I'd be a bit more hesitant when it comes to London, but a multi-tool of some description.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I reckon you get a lot...
I'm hesitant to say penknife, because in London that could be taken
but there's an awful lot of cyclists in London.
Yeah.
And if I was a cyclist in London or cyclist anywhere, I would always be carrying some kind of tool assembly with me, just in case I need to have a Allen key or whatever for my...
Yeah, maybe a small set of Allen keys. Maybe, or is that a bit big?
I would say that would facilitate perhaps if you are a cyclist, but if you're on your feet, I'd say, well, why do you need Allen keys?
That's very true.
You're going to suddenly do a bit of a self-assembly on some IKEA furniture because it's like, oh no, I need to, suddenly there's a blackout. I need to build a lamp of some sort. I am short of an Allen key. No, so what else would you have on that journey if you were stuck just coming out?
I'm just trying to make it really specific to this situation, because that's the thing we want to
I gave you
really
I
stress.
gave you a little hint there. Oh, you just said it. A word. What's the word?
What stress?
Yeah. So what else might you have in your pack?
Headache tablets.
Headache tablets.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Headache tablets. And that extends a bit further, because with that, again, you don't know what's happening, where you are, or whatever, but if you were to injure yourself or something, you might want to have some plasters, something in there, you know, in a mini medical kit.
Yeah, just the bare essentials.
Yeah. So you've already formulated with a very simple scenario some things which would make your life a lot easier, a lot more comfortable. And also, if you had something in there that you could eat.
Yeah, a snack.
A snack of
Because
some
you were talking about the
machine not working.
The vending
And
machines.
you can't use your phone to pay for anything. So
No, I can't remember the last time I saw a working vending machine at a train station.
So you got a choice whether you've got a snack in there, ideally, because then you'd have to think about buying anything. But if you do need to buy something, and if you've only got your phone to pay for it with, and you're in a situation where you can't use your phone, then I certainly would suggest to have some loose change. So
yeah, it's like a backup fund.
Yeah, it does have to be a lot. I mean, so normally I would make sure I've got at least like a £10 note.
Yeah.
And equally £10 in loose change. So £20.
Well, just throwing this into the situation.
Yep.
Say, for whatever reason, you lost your main wallet or means of paying for stuff.
Yep.
If you had that small backup,
Yep.
you've got yourself covered there.
Exactly. So there you've just said another scenario. For example, you lose your phone.
Yeah. Or, again, it's been stolen by somebody.
Your phone's been stolen, or you misplaced it, whatever. You've now got no access to any money at all. But if you've actually got some hard cash in your EDC, that might just be enough to get you out of a situation.
What is the likelihood you're going to get all of your personal resources stolen?
Well, exactly.
Unless it's like a severe thing.
Yeah, I mean, there is always going to be the potential that somebody could steal your EDC. Okay? Well, there you go. That's a scenario you've got to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
But what I've done...
A lot of this is very speculatory, though, isn't it?
So while we're speculating on a scenario, what I thought was...
It's a lot of what-ifs, isn't it?
I thought I'd bring my EDC in. This is my EDC, which I generally grab, chuck in the car. So, for example, if I'm going off filming at Pinewood Studios or Warner Brothers or going on location or something, I would just grab this, walk out the house, chuck it in the car. If I'm going off doing survey work, if I'm going off to do some work up the woods, or whatever, I would grab my EDC bag, chuck it in the car.
Because it's a general cover all bases.
Exactly.
Tool.
And
It is a tool.
I would even go as far as saying, if I'm going on a shopping trip out and about, I usually take it with me as well.
Fair.
And I've seen you carry your EDC about when going shopping.
That is very true, though I must say that personally, I think my EDC needs a lot of work.
Okay.
Because it's mostly empty.
So should we now take the opportunity?
Yeah.
We've got my EDC.
So this is the Hunt VP,
this is the
bag,
Hunt VP bag
that we already mentioned.
So there might be some noises, listeners.
That's all right.
I'm just pulling out a little table here in the studio. So I've got Hunt VP. I will put a photograph up of it. I'm not sponsored by Hunt VP.
They just seem to be a good brand.
I think we've probably got 4 or 5 of these Hunt VP bags.
It's fairly cheap off Amazon, actually.
So I'm going to start on the side pouch. Okay, that's quite straightforward. Open that up, and there's one bottle of water.
Oh, that looks nice and cold.
Nice cold. Yeah, it's actually a bit of condensation on that because the studio is quite warm.
Quite warm.
Okay, so let's go straight in there. Now, this is a multi-functional bag. It's got loads of... It's got pouches on this that I'm not even using at the moment, so it's got spare space.
That's good.
Which is also handy because if you're out and about and you want to buy something, you've got extra space to...
for instance, there's this little pouch on the back. Now, my immediate thought is, for that, For instance, if I'm going on a hike or something,
Yeah, you'd stick
there'd
your
be a
map in there,
good
wouldn't
place to put a map.
Yeah, you'd stick.
I love me maps.
Yeah,
I do.
You'd stick your OS map in there.
I would definitely
OS
recommend
Ordnance
that.
Survey
Yeah.
for those people. Right, so I'm just opening it up straight away. Now, I've not got this in any specific order of what's in here.
Yeah,
I kind of know what's in here. Sometimes
that's handy.
Yeah. But anyway, look, a spare bandana.
Oh, that's just you. That's a
Well,
personal effect.
Everybody knows I wear a bandana, and I always bring a spare bandana with me because you never know if I'm going to lose my bandana. But also, a bandana is a multi-functional piece of fabric.
Yeah.
I can use this for filtering water if I want to go real bushcraft style.
Yeah.
I can use this as a
sling.
bandage.
A sling.
I can use it as a sling. I can use it for so many different things. Even just literally just as a hand towel.
A neck scarf.
Hand towel. Tie 4 knots in it, stick it on my head. Don't need to do that, it's a bandana. Anyway, so I've got a bandana. Now, what have I got here? Crunchy. Right, we talked snacks. Now, this is kind of when you've got an EDC, I wouldn't personally recommend chocolate.
And why is that?
Because it melts. All right?
True.
It melts, it gets broken, if it's, whatever it happens to be, if it's a Mars bar, it gets squashed and deformed.
But what if it's...
You like chocolate.
What if it's a cold day?
Yeah, I know.
Would it be okay?
No, that's fine, as long as you appreciate that
It's going to be a bit sticky.
Yeah, I mean, an EDC is something that you have got snacks in, but you may not actually ever call upon those snacks.
So maybe something a bit longer lasting.
So you want something longer lasting. So you might want something like dry, biscuit bars and things like that, breakfast bars, things that you hate eating.
As long as it isn't those those weird chewy things you get in the army food things.
Oh, you talking about sesame seed?
The sesame seed
snack,
stick things,
which are like little wafers, but they
are
always stick together into one block.
They are horrid. they are horrid.
I actually like them, but you're gonna. If you're bored, it'll give you something to do for 2 hours to try and chew your way through one of them.
Maybe if I'm on a desert island.
Right, but anyway, what I pulled out and I'm crackling around here is fruit and nut trail mix. Okay, so fruit and nuts, the dried fruit, nuts, lots of different ones in there. It's a mix.
Yum.
You don't like them. I like fruit and nut, full of energy, protein, and they don't go off. It's in a sealed, airtight pack, and it's there, and it can't melt. Good in the winter, good in the summer, job done.
Is
I'm going to run out of
it though?
space in it.
Is
It
it
is for
though?
me, but I always think a trail mix is a good thing for me to have in my bag.
Maybe a packet of crisps. Can I go with a packet of crisps?
I also have crisps if you want, but again, if you can have crisps in your bag,
Yeah.
there's a good chance that if they've been in there for a while, they're just going to get scrunched down to dust.
Damn.
Okay. Also, I like a packet of mints.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because mints, they refresh your mouth, make you, if you've been working all day or whatever, you just need something to refresh your mouth, and I just something. Again, mints don't melt.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they're good to go. Mints. I've also got in here something else because right there we go. Give them a rattle.
Crikey, how much food have you got in here?
I've got some butterscotch drops. So these are hard candy.
Hard candy.
Hard candy.
Sounds like something from our American
But you can
candy
see,
episode.
I've had them in there a long time because they're still in their sealed cellophane packaging.
Wow.
But again, the thing is, sometimes your mood might be down,
Right.
and it's good to have something that is sweet
A bit of a pick-me-up.
and good tasting because it can just lift your mood. It's like having a cup of tea or
A Twinkie.
Yeah, having a Twinkie. You stick a Twinkie in your EDC. That'll get
They're
squashed.
customizable, okay?
I think what you need is
Not the Twinkies,
I think
the
you need
EDCs.
a hard Twinkie box so you don't squash your
You need one
Twinkie.
of those banana cases
Yeah,
that you get in
That's
lunchboxes.
it. I mean, I don't know who uses a banana box, but you could adapt it and have it as a Twinkie box. There you
Yeah.
go. So your Twinkies don't get squished. Right, what else have we got in here? We mentioned it already. Power pack. So I have a USB power pack. Also
Okay.
has a torch on it. But this
is-
particular one
Ooh.
is a tri-folding. There you go. It's got 4 solar panels on it.
Oh, wow. So you can literally just put that out in the sun.
I'll put it out in the sun. And
Ah,
charge it.
but what if it's nighttime?
Yeah, well, it's always. I always make sure it's charged. All right.
Oh, okay, because you're prepared for
I'm
the
prepared. I always
situation.
make it charged. Also, the thing with my little Hunts VP bag is it's got an elastic crisscross strap on it.
Oh yeah, I've got a similar thing on my paddleboard.
Which means that I have put my power pack in there with the solar panels hanging down. So I've literally been, while I'm walking about, it's charging my phone up.
Maybe not recommended in London.
Maybe not, but anyway.
But the idea is there, and it seems to work for you.
Yeah, so I have my rechargeable solar-powered battery pack.
Just out of interest, do you remember how much that cost?
That one, again, if you're going to go for a small battery pack, they don't have to cost you anything more than probably about 20 quid. But I think I paid about 45. It wasn't a huge amount for that one.
Okay.
And it's done me well. And obviously I've got a USB cable for it as well, because you'd be a bit stuck if you didn't have a cable. What else have we got if I dive into here? Right, I have a small pair of scissors. Always a handy thing to have, small pair of scissors.
I mean, yeah, if you want to cut something
and
you don't want it confiscated by the police.
Sharpie.
Yeah.
Sharpies. They're great for writing on pretty much anything if you need
Yeah.
this. You never know, you might meet a celebrity, and celebrities are real sticklers for if you want a signature, they'll only use a Sharpie.
It is true. It is true.
I have a Ziploc bag which has, here we are, personalised contact lenses in. I wear contact lenses, so I always carry with me about a week's supply, which might sound a lot, but contact lenses are very small. So I have a week's supply of contact lenses.
Is that waterproof?
Yep. For the best part, yeah. It's because it's a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
I also have a very small shopping bag, which is one of these like nylon ones that folds up and goes inside itself.
Which is quite compact.
So very compact. So that literally goes inside my palm if I just make a fist. But this opens up into a full big carrier bag.
Right.
So if I need to carry anything about, I have again randomly in the bottom a spoon.
A spoon.
Spoon's
a spoon for your butterscotch drops. No, I'm joking.
I don't need that. I've got a set of headphones.
So what's the spoon for? Like, just if you get food?
Yeah, I mean...
You find food? Scavenge food?
Scavenge food. Well, okay, so I've been in a situation before where I've had a tin of beans or something that I can open, and I've got nothing to eat the beans with.
That is true. I've had that.
Yay, but I've packed a spoon.
The worst thing in the world, right, is when you go camping or something and it's a tin of beans, but it's not one of the ring pull ones.
Yep.
And, I didn't think to pack a tin opener.
That's why in my EDC I have a little fold-out emergency tin opener.
Oh, the lovely ones.
Yes.
Oh, didn't we recommend that to Jack Harris when he came in?
And we gave him one as well.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah, they are really handy to use because they are so compact.
Yeah, in fact, I think if I'm correct, that's a P58.
A P58?
P58 Army tin opener.
Okay.
Okay, so it takes up no space.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, you could even have that on a key ring.
Oh, yeah, and it'll open anything. And you can buy one of them for like under £2. There you go. So anyway, so I've got my carry bag. I've got my headphones if I want to listen to something so I don't annoy anybody. If I feel I'm being in a train or in a space where it's like really compact and everybody's starting to smell.
You mean like in here, right now?
Like because it's a bit hot day today. I always have some deodorant. Okay, so look, I can deodorant.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'll go give myself a squirt. Oh, that's better. Hey.
And now, I'm jealous now. I'm now jealous.
Shall I squirt you?
No.
Okay.
No, don't squirt me.
Right at the bottom of my pack, this is in the main container.
Okay. I can smell that now.
Yes, don't I smell sweet?
I hope the ventilation's good in here.
Right at the bottom of the main container,
yeah,
I have my, I'm opening it up, that's Velcro, my EDC knife.
Which
is my British Army penknife.
Oh, I love those.
Okay, this
has got
that. A 3-inch long fold-in, non-lock-in, sheep's foot tipped, so non-stabby penknife with
the king,
the king of all the tin openers and bottle.
That's
openers.
an anything opener.
And it also
if it's closed, it isn't.
Also has its marlin spike on there as well. For doing repairs.
And it goes in its own little molly bag.
It's got its own little molly bag, and it goes right in the bottom.
Yeah, I
Okay,
see.
Right
I see why.
Always keep something like that right in the bottom. Okay, for safety reasons. Right, so I've also in here opening up another little Velcro bit. Oh look, I've got some spare pens. I've got 3 pens in there, and I also have a book.
A book?
A book, because I think if you're stuck in a place and you're getting bored,
yeah,
bit of reading material.
What is the book?
I mean, let's just say your phone, You want to keep you haven't got your charger. Damn, I haven't got a charger with me, and my charger's out. I've only got limited power on my phone. I don't want to sit there.
Yeah. Say you are stuck in a situation that you have no control over.
Yep.
What do you do?
Well, I just want to be able to
Chill.
So I'm going to read a book.
So
the book, I could change the book at any time, but this particular book is one of my favourites, and it's How to Survive by Brian Hindreth.
And we brought that up in our previous episode, which was about bushcraft. Bushcraft, that was.
I like that, and that's so I've basically got a survival book in my EDC.
Nice.
Nice. So I am now going to just look into... Right, so that's the main pouch. It's got food stuffs in it. It's got rechargeable stuffs in it. It's got contact lenses in it. It's got a spare bandana in it. It's all nicely done and zipped up. I'm good to go. That's the main pouch, and obviously the side pouch with the water bottle.
Okay.
I'm going to go into the front pouch now. What have I got in here?
What? Oh my God, there's more. There is more.
So in here, in again, Ziploc waterproof bag, I have first aid kit.
Wow.
So I have got some plaster strip. So this is basically the strip where you cut it to the size you want it.
And that's what the scissors are for.
Scissors, exactly. And I've also got some swabs. I've got rubber gloves.
Toothpicks.
Oh yeah, toothpick is essential. You never know. The toothpicks I've got are the ones that got the floss on as well. So if you've got something in your tooth, nothing worse than going to the cinema, eating popcorn, and then having a bit of popcorn that's got stuck between your teeth.
Oh, I get that.
And that pressure is like, oh, it's driving me mad. And you go, don't worry, my EDC, it has floss in it. So I've got an array of plasters, things like that. Say rubber gloves, a couple of, and there'll be sterile wipes, etc. in there as well.
Oh, yeah. Say, for instance, you cut yourself on something.
Yeah.
You can't anticipate these situations. Nobody is going to intentionally cut themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Or you might be in a situation where you're presented with an emergency in front of you, somebody else is injured, they're bleeding,
yeah,
and you want to help them, but in this day and age, you'd be far more sensible to put a pair of rubber gloves on before helping somebody, you know. It's a bit like if you have to resuscitate somebody, not everybody wants to blow into people's mouths.
Well, I think they've got rid of that now, haven't they?
You can just do the chest compressions, but if you do want to do the mouth thing, then you can get mouth guards as well that you can undo and put over people's faces. Hopefully not suffocating them with it, but just put a separation. Yeah. So there's those sorts of things that you could have in there. But look at this. This is the throwback. This is a
crikey,
face mask.
Wow.
Now face mask. And again, this is in my EDC. So here we have a face mask, which is a leftover from
a remnant from a bygone age
from COVID. Because, of course, you're in a position where you went to places and they wouldn't let you in unless you had a face mask.
Yeah.
And you go, don't worry.
It's in my EDC.
It's in my EDC. So I've also got a packet of tissues, which is always handy. Funnily enough, I've also got a little LCD.
Oh, crikey.
LCD computer game in there.
What is it? Out of interest.
This one, this is retro. This is a Game Watch. Nintendo Game Watch. It is the Fireman one.
Wow. And it's still on.
Yeah. Oh no, it just ticks over because it's a watch. It's a clock.
What?
You see?
What? Oh my God. Wow.
But that's in
That's
there.
really cool.
What else have I got in here? Now, there are something you might not think about yourself, but I do.
Okay.
Ta-da! Nail clippers.
That's where they've gone. What? I wondered where those nail clippers were.
These ones?
Yeah.
We've got loads of nail clippers.
I was looking for them.
Oh, we've got loads of them. But anyway, I always have some nail clippers because there's nothing worse than tearing a nail or something and you go, I just want to cut that off.
Yeah.
And so I always have some nail clippers. They don't take up any space. They hardly weigh anything. I've already said I've got pens in my bag, but you never know if you need to make any notes. So I always have a small pad. But I also have a pencil and pencil sharpener.
Oh, that's a nice get-up you've got there. You've bound it to the pencil.
Yeah, I've bound the pencil sharpener to the pencil.
Just so you don't lose it.
Because pens can run out.
Yep.
Pencils rarely run out. Okay, you just have to sharpen them. Yes, I could sharpen it with an EDC knife, but what do we say? 2 is 1, 1 is 9.
And doing that in London is going to be a bit sketchy.
I'd rather get me a pencil sharpener out and sharpen it up. So there we go. So I always have my little pad in there with bits and pieces.
Oh wow, it's got drawings.
Yeah, drawings.
Oh, look at that. That's so
It's
cool.
got swordsmanship drawings, Hogwarts, got some steampunk stuff,
Oh, wow.
some swords.
Has anyone told you that you should become an artist?
Look, see, even my first initial sketch of the village for the Hartsfeld film.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Anyway, so, pen, paper.
Available on eBay for £300 to £1,000.
So, oh no, I've got my pencil. Okay, so,
But thankfully you got 2.
yeah, I've got 2. Anyway, so there you go. So I'm going to pack my first aid kit away, and I've got my pad and pencil there and things.
So was that the secondary pouch?
Secondary pouch.
There's another one.
Right at the front, this one, we have paracetamols, we have ibuprofen,
Multi-headache tablets.
headache and painkillers, exactly. I always keep those easily accessible at the front. And again, I've got a couple of spare steri wipes in there. So
Very sensible.
they're just in there.
Very sensible.
Okay, which leaves me with my side pouch in this one. So we've covered headache tablets, first aid, snacks.
We've covered quite a lot actually.
Water.
More than I
In
thought
here,
of.
okay,
Uh-huh.
I have £10 worth of spare change plus a £10 note in case I need some hard cash.
So I know where to go if I'm short of some change.
I do also have what you said about a
Ooh.
multi-tool.
Yeah.
This
That's not really a conventional multi-tool though, is it?
no, this is a Jeep one, isn't it? This is a Jeep multi-tool. It's actually it's got a spanner set, grips on it. It's small, doesn't weigh
Yeah.
too much, and it also has a under 3-inch folding knob.
Okay. I
knob.
was wondering whether or not I had a knife.
Also has screwdriver. I've got 3 screwdriver on there.
Yeah.
Okay,
That.
so,
Tell you what, for a camera guy,
yeah.
having a set of screwdrivers
there are-
is
Again,
essential.
there are times when I've been out and I've gone, oh, my light's gone loose. I need to tighten it up. Multi-tool,
Gotta take one.
you know. Also, ta-da!
What's
this?
that?
This is a fire striker. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one, there you go.
Demo. Give us a demo.
There you go. It's only a little fire striker. See if I can get this going. There you go, sparks flying everywhere.
Okay. Oh dear, the studio is on fire. No, it isn't.
No. But it's a little striker light in there.
That's handy.
And it's also got a knife sharpener in there as well.
Oh, cool.
And a little file. Fold out file.
Blimey, you are prepared.
Okay. And let's see if we've got anything else in here. Now, this one, not so much for the time we're in, because it's very hot in here at the moment. I also have 2 hand warmers. The chemical hand warmers, you snap and bend, and they will heat up.
Yeah, I think I've got a couple of those, but I haven't ever found myself in a situation that I want to kind of use it to warm myself up, if that makes sense.
I normally, I've obviously left them in there, but it's kind of more of a winter EDC, that thing.
So just in case.
They don't weigh anything particularly. So my EDC is pretty much, that's it.
That's the lot.
I think I've got everything in there that would cover me for most eventualities. And that sorts me out as my little EDC, which I chuck around with me.
So having gone through that now, has anything come to mind that you think might be good to add to it? Maybe? Any little things?
I don't know. I think after it depends. I think if I was going to go on a longer trip or something, I'd chuck an extra bottle of water in the main pouch.
Yeah.
Like you said, you like a big water bottle. But no, I mean, I've got everything I could think of that sort of cover me on things. I've got a bit of entertainment. I've got things to keep me, keep me going. Charge my phone.
Do you reckon? I know that we had that kind of compact bag to put stuff in that's in there.
Yep.
Maybe that reminded me of a similar thing that would be some very basic. What they call the stuff when it's raining. It's raining.
Like a poncho.
Like a poncho slash. What are they called? Clothes that you put on when it's raining.
Oh, you mean just waterproofs?
Waterproofs. That's it.
They are waterproof.
Waterproof.
Zach, they're waterproof. Waterproof means keeping the water off you.
Yes, waterproofs. That was the word I was looking for.
If you had a very small, I mean, you can get very small little fold-up like polythene ponchos and things that are like one use only type stuff.
Yeah.
But I prefer using renewable stuff, reusable stuff, should I say.
Would we say that maybe one of those thin survival blankets is a bit overkill?
No, you could put
Or do you reckon that would be a good idea?
You could put a survival blanket in there. Again, it might not be for you. For example, I mean, I've been in a place before where I suddenly had a gentleman who collapsed in front of me and was having an epileptic fit. We had to wait for the ambulance to come. And if I remember people taking, because it was quite cold, people taking their coats off, put them over. If I had a survival blanket in there, I would have put that straight over, something like that.
Yeah.
So, you never know. You might not be carrying something specifically that is you're going to use for yourself. You might find it's useful to help somebody else with.
But obviously it's going to be very situational specific. You're not going to be able to necessarily anticipate these things happening.
You talk about survival blanket, but let's just say you found yourself in, for whatever scenario, you found yourself stuck in the middle of nowhere and it starts to pour with rain. You could take a survival blanket out and put it over your head, and it would just keep you both, keep the rain off you and keep you warm. So, it's all horses for courses, really. But again, people are going to be situational. Somebody might say,
somebody going on a train to London is not
necessarily
somebody who's driving to the coast.
No, but if you were out for a day trip and you decided you were going to go walk in the mountains, you see a lot of people that do that, and they've got their t-shirts and their trainers on,
flip-flops,
and their shorts, and suddenly the weather changes, and in comes a squall, and they're freezing cold, they're soaking wet.
They're running for cover.
But of course, if you have
somebody slips over, breaks their ankle,
all they've taken with them is their packet of sandwiches and their can of fizzy pop. And so in that situation you'll be really glad if you've got a survival blanket with you, because you might say, well, okay, I started out on this trip, it's really hot and sunny, and I certainly didn't want to have to bring with me a full coat and everything else. But I can get by with a survival blanket or a small poncho setup.
So what's that saying from Alien versus Predator? It's better to have one and not need it than to need it and not have one.
It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
That one.
Exactly.
That's it.
So I think that's a good way to round off this particular EDC one. So all of those that are listening to this, if you haven't got an EDC, hopefully we've kind of prompted you to think about it, because it doesn't matter where you're going, what you're doing, but sometimes you might just find that if you've got just a few things with you, it might make a whole difference to the outcome of a situation. If you can be sitting there saying, I'm not hungry, I'm not thirsty, I haven't got a headache, I've got something I can charge my phone up with, or if I don't have a phone, I've got some actual real money that I can make a phone call with, or I can do this with, and you might not have thought about it before. But an EDC doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be complicated, but it's very much recommended, and especially adding to it in your vehicle. If you're a driver and having that stuff in your car, it's as basic, from my perspective, it's as basic in a car having a jack and spanners that if you get a flat tyre.
A car jack, not Jack from the podcast.
Not Jack from the podcast, not Zak Wylde Spin.
Subject to availability.
I'm talking not Zak Wylde Spin, I'm talking Jack Brace. Okay, so you want to get in there, put the jack under your car, use the wheel brace.
I'm just imagining Jack now.
Crank it up. But no, thing is, so if you don't have the tools, then you get a flat tyre and you're stuck.
That's very true.
I haven't got AA. I haven't got
phone signal.
I haven't got a phone signal. I've got to wait here and hope to wave somebody down. Or you've got the tools of the car, you've got the know-how. Drop the wheel off, put the spare wheel on, and away you go. And having that facility is just as much useful as having an EDC to just cover you and say, I am really parched. I've been stuck here for ages. I need a drink. I'm hungry. I'm getting a headache. Blah, blah, blah.
Because I've been in that situation several times now, that I've gone somewhere to do something. For instance, Comic-Con. I didn't want to take food or drink with us because I thought it might be
I've been to places where they
confiscated
by the
security and things, which is what I expected, because going to other Comic-Cons, it was a similar type of
Yeah,
deal.
I've been to the NEC and had stuff taken off me.
Now, that was a very busy day, and I did find myself, by the end of it, I really enjoyed the experience. It was a great time.
Yep.
But by the end of the day, I really needed a drink.
Yep.
I really needed a drink.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough, and I couldn't, there wasn't enough drink to be able to have to get you through the day, if that made sense.
Yeah, so you had to go buy some.
Yes.
At an exceptionally high price.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're going somewhere like that, my EDC, I would strip it down.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't take multi-tools.
Especially when,
stuff like that.
the bag searches
Yeah.
and stuff.
I wouldn't take anything like that. But if I was going to an event like that, I would certainly want some headache tablets, drink, something to eat, basic stuff.
As we
like that.
say, it's customizable.
Customizable.
It doesn't have to be the same thing all of the time.
Yeah, and from a prepper's perspective, an EDC, an everyday carry, isn't it isn't in the realm of your doomsday preppers mentality. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that everybody should have. You may need it. You might not be somebody. You might be somebody who says, "Oh, don't worry, there's not going to be a disaster. I don't need to have a bug-out bag or grab bag or anything like that." But an EDC is just being sensible.
Yes.
Okay, and there you go. That's what an everyday carry, in this case, an everyday carry bag is for.
I think that the EDC topic can come up again in a future podcast. Possibly we could talk about different scenarios. Again, we went over the train thing in this particular one.
Of course, I mean it's particular to the country you're in, because if you're in the States, something that might seem really outlandish
Here
here,
in the UK,
you might have an EDC, you might have a gun in your bag.
well, you just go back to the Meg scenario. He was carrying around a Desert Eagle 50 caliber pistol around
Yes,
his
but we don't
EDC.
we don't live in an environment like that.
No.
But I've got a friend, Pam, in Texas, and to carry a gun, a handgun, and to be licensed to carry a handgun is just an everyday thing.
Yeah.
So for everyday people in certain places in the world, having a handgun in your EDC is just
A bare
essential.
Necessity. Yeah.
you know, for whatever reason. It might sound really bizarre to us living in a country where we don't have that, but that, again, is situational depending on where you are.
So, before we leave, it's time to pick out the next topic for the exclusive episode of the Now We Know Show Flashback.
Ooh, shall I reach across the studio?
Yes. Can we remember what the last exclusive episode was that we flashed back to?
Was that Bigfoot?
It was Bigfoot.
It was Bigfoot.
It was Bigfoot.
That was a good one.
It was a good one.
Right, I have the Deerstalker Hat of Mystery. Sherlock Holmes. I'm informed that this is actually one of Sherlock Holmes' actual Deerstalker hats.
Yeah.
So
may I?
Yes,
may
yeah,
I?
yeah, you're going to
Okay.
Dig in.
Okay.
You're
Have a
choose
right
something.
Royal Rumble. Okay, I've got one. So the Now We Know Show Flashback exclusive episodes are for our patrons and YouTube members.
That are out there listening.
Yes, very
So
much
what's
so.
the subject for this next
The
one?
subject for the next one that we are going to be recording
Oh,
after this podcast.
We need a drum roll.
Ooh, I think you're going to like this.
Okay.
So we're flashing back all the way to episode 29.
Wow.
29.
29. I can't think of what
That was
we
a
were doing.
while ago.
What were we doing at 29?
So this was actually quite specific, actually.
Yeah.
Artemis 1.
Ooh!
So yes.
Oh, that's been in the back burner.
We get to
on the back
talk
burner
about
for a while.
space.
Space.
So look forward to seeing all about that.
Updates on Artemis 1 and Space Race.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe to this channel and comment below any suggestions of topics or activities you'd like to listen to in future episodes. That's a big prepared goodbye from Zak.
And that's a better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Goodbye from Buzz.
Nice reference there.
There we go. Goodbye.
You can find the Now We Know Show podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music and Apple Podcasts. Keep up to date with everything ZWP on Facebook and Instagram, or visit the Zak Wylde Productions website at www.zakwyldeproductions.com. And remember to join us on Patreon or become a YouTube member for early access content and exclusive episodes.